Namaste Gurudevaya Sarvasiddhi Pradayine Sarvamangala Rupaya Sarvananda Vidyayine. Jai Guru Sri Guru, Jai Guru Sri Guru, Jai Guru Sri Guru, Jai Guru Raman, Janita Jai Gorja Jai Sri Radhesyam. In the history of this channel and my full work over the last 5 years or more, online at least, I have been sharing very important knowledge connected to the sadhaka path, bhakti marga, to the path of wisdom and knowledge, how to achieve perfection. Because I am pretty sure I am not the only one who is into Gaudiya or Vaishnavism or yoga philosophy, Vedic philosophy to say, because they want to achieve perfection. And I have been giving very heavy information in the past years. And today I will share with you something that is possible the most important information for all the sadhakas, for all the jivas who are looking to achieve perfection in this very life, to become a jivan mukti, to get realized, to achieve the final goal. If your goal is the Parabrahman, if your goal is Ayodhya, Ramchandra Lila, if your goal is Nitai Gauranga Lila, if your goal is Nityabrash Vrindavan, this information that I am sharing today with you is extremely important. By the blessing of the Divine Mother, this information is here today, in the first day of Navaratri. This is a writing by Swami Shivananda regarding to the glory of the Divine Mother and the 9 days, the Navaratri Durga Puja. For many Indians and for many people on this planet, Durga Puja is 9 days of puja, party and celebration. But actually it's much more than that. The Navaratri has a very occult and deep meaning that will be revealed today. Swami Shivananda ki jai, and I thank from the bottom of my heart to him and his wonderful work and words. And I thank to him that he wrote in English, especially for the lowest of the lowest. Navaratri Durga Puja, its significance, 1946. Religious observances, traditional worship and vratas at times have more than one significance. Apart from being the adoration of the divine, they are commemorative of stirring, bygone events, allegoric when interpreted from the occult standpoint, esoteric, and lastly, deeply significant pointers and revealing guides to the jiva on his path to realization. Outwardly, the 9 days worship of Devi, or the Mother, is in the nature of a Vijaya Utsava. These 9 days, triumph are offered to the Mother for her successful struggle with the formidable demons led by Shumbha and Nishumbha. But to the spiritual aspirant in his life of sadhana, the particular division of the Navaratri into sets of 3 days to adore different aspects of the Supreme Goddess has got a very sublime yet thoroughly practical truth to reveal. In its cosmic aspect, it epitomizes the stages of the evolution of man into God or achieving perfection. Parenthesis. This is a reading that is focused and viewed under the prisma of Vaishnavas and of course caudillas. So there are a few words that I will explain on a little different form, such as man into God, man, the jiva, into perfection, realization. From jivahood to shivahood, it is individual. In its individual import, it shows the course that his spiritual sadhana should take. Now, the central purpose of existence is to recognize your eternal identity with the Supreme Spirit. Parenthesis. To recognize yourself as a spiritual being, as a perfect soul, Satchit Ananda, your true reality. It is to grow into the image of the divine. The Supreme One embodies the highest perfection. It is spotless purity, Niranjan. To recognize your identity with that, to attain union with that, is verily to grow into the very likeness of the divine. The sadhaka has therefore as the initial step to get rid first of all the countless impurities and the undivine elements that have come to cling to him in his embodied state. Then he has to acquire lofty virtues, auspicious divine qualities. Thus purified and rendered full of sattva, knowledge flashes upon him like the brilliant rays of the sun upon the crystal waters of a perfectly calm lake. The process of sadhana implies resolute will, determined effort and arduous struggle. In other words, strength, infinite Shakti, is the prime necessity. It is the Divine Mother, Supreme Shakti of Brahman, that has to operate through the aspirant. Then consider how on the first 3 days Mother is adored as power, force, Durga, the terrible. You pray to Mother Durga to destroy all your impurities, your vices, your defects. She is to fight with and annihilate the baser animal qualities in the sadhaka, the lower asura in his nature. Also, she is the power that protects your sadhana from its many dangers and pitfalls. Thus, the first 3 days, marking the first stage of destructions of mala impurities, and determined effort and struggle to root out the evil vasanas in your mind, are set apart for the worship of the destructive aspect of the Mother. Once you have accomplished your task on the negative side, that of breaking down the impure vasanas, propensities and old habits, the next step is to build up a sublime spiritual personality, to acquire positive qualities in place of the eliminated asuric qualities. The divine qualities, Daivi Sampat, that Lord Krishna enumerates in the Gita, have to be acquired. The sadhaka must cultivate and develop all the auspicious qualities. He has to pile up immense spiritual wealth to enable him to pay the price for the rare gem of divine wisdom. If this development of the opposite qualities is not undertaken in right earnest, the old asuric nature will raise its head again and again. Parenthesis. Have you noticed how so many sadhakas fail in their path? They blame the Mahamantra, they blame Chaitanya Dev, they blame their gurus, they blame this and that. But the big secret is that does not matter which path are you walking. What truly matters is how honest and how hard are you working to uproot the evil from your heart, your mind, your unconscious. How to clean up yourself if your path or the teachings that you are following are not giving you these tools to uproot all evil from your heart, then the asuras will climb up your head again and again and again. And one day you will be exhausted, and then the fell down is coming. Reflect on this. Think on all those wonderful masters and sadhakas that you have been meeting in your life. And they fell down in very disastrous ways, right? Why? Because they had not been doing the inner work, just external puja, just external show. It is not helping. Hence, this stage is as important in an aspirant's career as the previous one. The essential difference is the former is a ruthless, determined annihilation of the filthy, egoistic, lower self. The latter is an orderly, steady, calm, serene effort to develop purity. This pleasanter side of the aspirant sadhan is depicted by the worship of Mother Lakshmi. She bestows on her devotees the inexhaustible wealth of Daivi Sampat, divine qualities. Lakshmi is the Sampat Dajini aspect of Brahman, the incarnation of Shuddha Sattva, and who give Shuddha Sattva to the devotees. She is purity itself. Thus, worship of Goddess Lakshmi is performed during the second set of 3 days. Once the aspirant succeeds in rooting out the evil propensities and in developing sattvic pure qualities, he becomes an adhikari. He is ready now to receive the light of supreme wisdom. He is fit to obtain divine knowledge. At this stage comes the devout worship of Sri Saraswati Ma, who is divine knowledge personified, the embodiment of Brahmagyan. The sound of her celestial Veena awakens the notes of the sublime Mahabhakyas and the Pranava Om. She bestows the knowledge of the supreme Nada and then gives full Atmanyan as represented by her pure, dazzling snow white appear. To propitiate Sri Saraswati, the giver of Nyan, is therefore the third stage. The 10th day, Vijayadashamī, marks the triumphant ovation of the Jiva at having attained Jivan Mukti through the descent of knowledge by the grace of Goddess Saraswati. The Jiva rests in his own supreme self of Satchit Ananda, existence eternal, knowledge eternal, bliss absolute. This day celebrates the victory, the achievement of the goal. The banner of victory flies aloft. Lo, I am he, I am he. I have been achieving the goal of my life. Shidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Shidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Parenthesis, Shivoham, I am he, I am he. But from our points of view, we can say, I have been achieving the divine qualities as he has, as he is. This arrangement has also a special significance in the aspirant's spiritual evolution. It marks the stages of evolution which are indispensable for every sadhaka, through which everyone should pass. Parenthesis, this is not the path only of the Shaktas, of Shaivas, but this is also our path. These 3 stages should be done, otherwise there is no progress. One naturally leads to the other, and to short-circuit this will inevitably result in a miserable failure. And listen carefully, please reflect on this paragraph. Nowadays, many ignorant sadhakas aim straight at the acquisition of knowledge without the preliminaries of purification and acquisition of Daivi Sampat, divine qualities, and complain that they are not progressing in the path. How can they? Parenthesis. This is writing back in 1946, and back in that time already, and it's part of the history, sadhakas are complaining that the path is not working and they are not progressing, or they are just simply imagining their progress. Brothers and sisters, I will reveal something very, very harsh, but truth, because these 9 days starting today is the time that we can work hard for our goal. If we are just around fairy tales about the Manjaris and Braj Leela and Kelikunj and this and that, this will not help in any single thing, because this is the divine knowledge that must descend to us. Through our vidhi, our practice, sadhana, mantra jap, etc., we will purify ourselves, destroy all evil, all the asuras living inside must to be destroyed, arise from ourselves. Then we should develop the divine qualities, and then the divine knowledge will descend. So it's not need to write on Manjaris and Manjari Bab and to speak with people who has not the adhikar, the preliminary preparation and stages for achieving that knowledge. By doing so, the only result is mental disturbance, mental problems, schizophrenia, and an increase on the inner demons. Any sincere spiritual master knows this. That's why they normally will never speak about this to the ones who has not the adhikar. But nowadays it's a fashion, yes? Let's speak about that, let's get followers, because they will not find this information nowhere else. Like, you can get this by intellectual means. This is extremely wrong. That's why the real Gaudillas were worshipping directly Nitai Gauranga, 100%, and then Radhesham later. Why it was like this? Have you been reflecting on this topic? This is extremely important. And now we are hearing the same from another very advanced master. How can they progress? He writes, knowledge will not descend till the impurities are washed out and purity is developed, nor can the sattvic plant grow on impure soil. Follow this arrangement. Your efforts will be attended with sure success. This is your path. No other path is known for salvation or for achieving perfection. Destroy one evil quality, develop the opposite virtue. By this process, you will soon bring yourself up to that perfection which will culminate in that identity with Brahman, which is your goal. In our case, that perfection that will culminate in the direct service to Nitai Gaura Radhesham, right? That is our goal as Gaudillas. Then all knowledge will be yours. You will be omniscient. you will feel complete, absolute. You will see yourself in all. You will be a Jivan Mukta. You will have achieved eternal victory over the wheel of birth and death, over the demon samsara. No more of pain, no more of misery, no more of birth, no more of death. Victory, victory be yours. Glory unto Divine Mother. Let her take you step by step to the top of spiritual ladder and unite you with the Lord. Swaha, Swaha, Swaha. Shri Navaratri ki Jai. Shri Devi ki Jai. Wonderful and revealing words by Swami Shivananda. Wonderful work. There is another letter that came through on the true significance of Devi Puja in 1947. Then is another letter in Durga Puja 1948, and then Devi Worship 1949. Significance of Devi Worship 1950, the Inner War, Worship of Divine Power 1951. All these short texts are full of power, Mahashakti, and it's quite possible that I will be reading them for you as well. Bhajoni Thai Gaura Radhesham Japo Hare Krishna Hare Ram. Shri Radhamana Ki Jai, Jai Nitai Jai Gaur, Jai Jai Shri Radhesham. Thanks for watching, and I read you in comments. Have a blessed Navaratri.